Yesterday, I was on Discord and someone asked me, "Hey V, did you see that Trump posted a picture with Kile?" And I like, get the fuck up. Like, no way. And I look at it and I see this. And the next thing that I see is the blue check marks losing their shit. I mean, they were seething, like absolutely seething. And at first I wondered, is it because they see Trump? It's like a bull seeing the color red. It triggers a reflex reaction. They're like, ah. And I think it was a little bit of that. But it also the fact that they don't like the fact that Kile is actually not going to starve to death. Because there were a lot of people, blue check marks, that were pointing on the Twitter. It's like, yes, he might get off, but he's never going to find a job again. No university is going to want to have him. His life is ruined. He's always going to have to watch his back. We are the good people of society, and we're going to make sure that justice is done. And when Kile gets out of trial, he's invited by Tucker Carlson. He is going and he's seeing Trump. Apparently, there's another GOP which is offering Kile a job. And they're seething right now. It's like, this is out of our control. We must control every aspect of society, but this little thing is not within our reach. Why is it allowed to happen? Why aren't the banks doing anything? It's just bizarre. I mean, the way that I can interpret all of this is that progressives decided to politicize this. I mean, this shouldn't even be political, all right? It's a self-defense trial. There's hundreds, if not thousands of them going up every year. You probably don't hear about any single one because they're not being politicized. But the left politicized this. And it's very similar to how they did with Venezuela. Like, if you don't remember, if you're not old enough, when Venezuela went socialist, a lot of leftists were like, see, look at Venezuela. That's exactly how a nation should be run. That is when a compassionate government gets power. That is what happened when real human beings that have empathy and compassion get power. So a lot of people started looking at Venezuela, and now they were like, Jesus fucking Christ. I remember there was this picture where people in Venezuela were starving, and the dear leader was on television stuffing his face with food. He couldn't help himself. Not even for the 10 minutes while the press was there, so that at least the optics aren't bad. Like, people are starving in the streets and you're like, mwah, 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 mwah. But that is compassion. That is empathy, right? So people are looking at that. They're horrified. And now the left is like, oh, stop talking about Venezuela. Why do you keep bringing up Venezuela? Not real socialism. And it's the same shit here, It's like, oh, look at this kid. Look how evil he is. And apparently 12 people in a jury looked at him. They found him not guilty. And as he goes on all these talk shows and he's talking, he's resonating with a lot of the public. And I'll tell you why. And they're like, stop it. Stop it. Don't look at him. Look somewhere else. So why are people resonating with Kile, right? Well, number one, apparently, he is from a poor family. Like, he actually has to struggle for a living. And one of the greatest accomplishments that he has, and he's very proud of it, is that he actually managed to get into a college. So, a lot of people take going to college for granted, but apparently it was a huge sacrifice for his family to get him to go for college. And a lot of people actually empathize with this. Like, it's not about the skin color, like the left says. It's more about the same lived experiences. So I'm from Romania. I know how difficult it is for someone to be poor and struggle financially. So I can connect with someone like that. I don't care if they're white, black, Asian. Like, I can connect with that more than I can connect with Jeff Bezos, who's also white like I am. And it turns out Kile isn't white. He's Latinx. The left doesn't mention that. But yeah, he's Latinx. And then you see what he's doing. Like, during the trial, he talks about it, shows images with him washing graffiti, putting out fires, trying to help people. Yeah, I mean, a lot of individuals, regardless of their skin color, would probably want more people like that in their neighborhood. Like, people who actually put out fires. I mean, it's a good thing, right? Putting out fire. Like, if your house catches fire, don't you want your neighbor to come over there? And again, it's self-defense, right? Like, a lot of people go like, he's a murderer. It's like, no, it's self-defense. Like, people attacked him, and when people attack you, I think this is in every country in the world. I mean, I don't think this is controversial. You do have a right to defend yourself, right? And the self-defense video is on the internet for everyone to see. He gets jump kicked. People are using his head like a football. There's another guy bashing his head in with a skateboard. There's another person saying that he's going to kill him and pulls a gun. Like, what more do you need? Like what exactly does self-defense look like in La La Land at this point? Like again, you're having the balls to present this in front of a jury, and you're basically asking the jury, what would you do in that situation? And I guess like 12 people unanimously responded what they would have done. So, of course, now a lot of politicians and right-wing figures are going to take advantage of this situation, and they're going to try to pose with Kile, and is going to milk him for all the clout. And yes, Kile should be milked. Every little ounce of clout from Kile should absolutely be milked. Just like Greta Thunberg was, well, I'm going to use a different expression because the YouTube tier. But just like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and every leader of the world, and everyone was taking a picture with Greta Thunberg, like, what, wasn't that the same thing? Why is that different? I don't understand. Oh, it's because you think Greta is moral. Hey, maybe Greta is moral, but the people behind her, are they moral? Because it's the 1% that the left doesn't like. It's the evil billionaires that the left hates. Those were the ones behind Greta. And by the way, like a lot of people are making a comparison between Kile and Greta, and I think the comparison is somewhat accurate in the fact that it's the child hero, like the child avatar. But the difference between Greta and Kile is that one is organic, the other one isn't. And what I mean by this is with Greta, you have rich people who were like, okay, we have a plan, we have a program, we have a PR campaign. Now we need to find the face for this PR campaign. And they found Greta. Right? Like, if you think that this is a conspiracy theory, then you must think that a kid who takes a day off school can end up speaking with Arnold Schwarzenegger, world leaders, famous actors, billionaires, travel across the world. And if that's the case, if you genuinely think this, I'm sorry to say, but you're mentally challenged. Like, you are a mentally deficient person. And I don't think we can have a conversation because I can't speak your language. If you genuinely think that what Greta did is organic, that one day she decided to just skip school and it just so happened that a person walked past her and all of a sudden she's traveling across the world and she's speaking with famous people. I skipped school when I was a kid. I just got the spanking from my dad. I didn't get to talk to Obama, right? So cut the shit. You are the one who believes in a conspiracy theory, if that's the case. Meanwhile, with Kile, it's the left that said, hey, look at this guy. Look at him. Look. And they started lying. It's like, oh my God, he's crossing state lines. Turns out he didn't. Oh my God, it's illegal for him to have a gun. Turns out it wasn't. Right? And you go through all the steps and they keep lying and lying. And you're like, okay, all these multi-billion-dollar corporations are lying about a person? That's not nice. What if they were to lie about me? That's not okay. And look, even Facebook and GoFundMe, they're saying that he's a murderer. It turns out that he actually went to court and 12 people unanimously found him innocent. And by the way, like every person that actually watched the trial came to the same conclusion. Like even the Young Turks had to backpedal because it was impossible to watch the trial and come up to a different conclusion. So yeah, that's why, people are now, it's like, well, like this guy was wronged. And from the looks of it, from looking at the Twitter, everyone wants the worst for him. So why, I think like a lot of the things when people are doing interviews with Kile and the reason people are watching those interviews is because they know they are pissing off the check marks on the Twitter. Like they're pissing off the correct people. And I gotta say, there's a lot of energy in pissing off the moral busybodies right now. It's ridiculous. I don't, because like when you're a moral busybody and you piss off the entire population for years, and finally, like, people notice you get upset because of something, people will just do it out of spite. And I think that's one of the driving forces, besides the fact that a lot of people actually resonate with Kile. But it's the one of the driving forces that other people who probably don't care and wouldn't care if it wasn't just for like the outrage and the ass hurt and the ass maddery that you get to see on the Twitter. Plus, the ass mads get to see a picture of Trump again, and that seems to upset them, like it again, like a bull seeing the color red. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section.